Hello people and welcome to the ultimate Harry Potter tag. I can't believe that I still haven't done the Harry Potter tag. This is quite an old tag, but I really wanted to do it, so yeah, here we go. Number 1 is favourite book. This one's easy for me. It is Deathly Hallows. I got the Deathly Hallows on the 21st of July 2007, the official release date. A date that I'm never going to forget because it was the date the last Harry Potter book came out. I could go on for hours as to why Deathly Hallows is my favourite book, but I'm not going to bore you with that. Number 2 is least favourite book. For a long time it was The Chamber of Secrets because I just felt like it got too dark too soon, but recently I've been leaning towards The Prisoner of Azkaban being my least favourite, and that is purely because time travel is in it. I've always loved this book because Voldemort isn't in it, and there's a nice little adventure at the end that has nothing to do with dark magic, evil people. Well, it does, but it turns out he wasn't evil after all. But it's the fact that time travel is in it, and J.K. Rowling herself has stated that she regrets using time travel in it. That's why time travel isn't in any of the other books. I just think it makes the whole thing complicated, and so yeah, I think on the basis of there being time travel alone, Prisoner of Azkaban is my least favourite book. Number 3 is favourite movie. My favourite movie in the entire Harry Potter series has to go to The Philosopher's Stone. Why? Because The Philosopher's Stone film was the first time I was properly introduced to the Harry Potter universe. I had kind of tried reading the books before, but I started off reading the 4th book because I didn't know there was a series. I didn't really understand it, gave up on it, but I heard so many good reviews about The Philosopher's Stone, the film, and it looks so cool that when I watched it, it changed my life. It blew my mind. So as soon as I'd watched the film a couple of hundred times, I went back and read the book, and then I read The Chamber of Secrets, and I just got so obsessed with the Harry Potter universe. It became my favourite thing in the entire world for such a long time. I mean, it's still up there, but I was obsessed. So yeah, Philosopher's Stone. Number 4 is least favourite movie, and this is a no-brainer for me. It is The Half-Blood Prince. I don't like The Half-Blood Prince film. So many things were either changed or missed out entirely. That whole scene where the borough's burnt down never happened in the book, never really happened, and was just a giant waste of time that they could have spent adding in things that were important to the plot. As a film on its own, if I don't compare it to how it should be, I really love it because it's still Harry Potter at the end of the day, and I've still watched it many times. I have a lot of issues with the Harry Potter films, as I'm sure a lot of people do, but I still love watching them because they're still Harry Potter. Number 5 is favourite quote. Happiness can be found even in the darkest of times, if one only remembers to turn on the lights. Albus Dumbledore, Harry Potter and The Prisoner of Azkaban. Number 6 is favourite Weasley, and I had a bit of an issue with this because I couldn't pick just one. So I've got 2. Fred and George Weasley. The Weasley twins, they come as a pair. They are brilliant, they are funny. I always loved reading about them. The Phelps twins who played them in the films were perfect. I was so devastated when Fred died in the end. I was more sad about Fred's death than I was about anyone else's. Number 7 is favourite female character, and if you have seen my Luna Lovegood tag, you would know that it is in fact Luna Lovegood. I go on into such more detail about why I love Luna in the Luna Lovegood tag, so if you haven't seen that, there will be a card appearing up here. Number 8 is favourite villain. I have to go for Bellatrix Lestrange. I absolutely love this character. She is crazy. She's one of the few villains in the universe that I love to read about. I absolutely love Bellatrix, as evil as she is. Number 9 is favourite male character, and it took me a while to figure out who to choose for this, but eventually I chose Neville Longbottom. It's kind of much in the same way as why I chose Luna for my favourite female character. I just feel like I could relate to him so much. I feel like if I was in Hogwarts in his year, I would be his friend, and it's the fact that he got so brave at the end. He became someone his parents could be proud of, and that was just awesome. So yeah, I love Neville Longbottom. Number 10 is favourite professor, and again it took me a little while to kind of decide who this was, but I ended up choosing Professor McGonagall. Not only is she a complete badass by the end, but she's actually a really good teacher. She's firm but fair. I feel like I would really enjoy her classes. I might be slightly afraid of her, but I would definitely look up to her and have a lot of respect for her, and I think that's the same with a lot of other Hogwarts students. Yeah, that's why I picked her. Number 10 is, would you rather wash Snape's hair or spend a day listening to Lockhart rant about himself? Again, this is a bit of a no-brainer for me. I would rather spend a day listening to Lockhart, because then I can at least drown him out. And can you imagine how awkward it would be to wash Snape's hair? I would rather endure Lockhart. At least he wouldn't scar me for the rest of my life. Number 12 is, would you rather duel an elated Bellatrix or an angry Molly? Here's the thing, if I was to duel either of these women, I would fail miserably instantly. Bellatrix likes to torture her victims, whereas Molly, I think, would just straight up kill you or knock you out. So I wouldn't really want to be on the receiving end of Bellatrix's torturing, so I choose Molly Weasley. Number 13 is, would you rather travel to Hogwarts via Hogwarts Express or flying car? It depends what this question means. If I have to travel via either of these things every single year, then I would go for the Hogwarts Express. But if I get to just do it for 1 year like Ron and Harry, then I would like to choose flying car, because how awesome would that be? Number 14 is, would you rather kiss Voldemort or give Umbridge a bubble bath? Well, if I kissed Voldemort, will he end up torturing me and or killing me afterwards? But then again, if I was to give Umbridge a bubble bath, could I just push her head down and suffocate her? In that situation, she's going to be more vulnerable than I am, and I have the power to murder her. Number 15, would you rather ride a hippogriff or ride a firebolt? I would rather ride a hippogriff, because then there's less chance of me falling off. I am petrified at the idea of flying on a broomstick. I feel like I'll just be the worst witch in the world. But to fly on a hippogriff, I just feel like that would be amazing. One of my favourite scenes in the Harry Potter film series is when Harry's riding on hippogriff in Prison of Azkaban. And yeah, I would love to ride on a hippogriff. 16. Is there a character you felt differently about in the movies? Yes. Ginny Weasley. Book Ginny, badass, strong, independent, great character. Film Ginny, not quite so much. And this isn't disrespectful to Bonnie Wright playing her. This is just how the character ended up being like in the film, how she was written in the films. 17 is there a movie you preferred to the book? No. 18. Richard Harris or Michael Gambon as Dumbledore? Well, as we all know, Richard Harris did a much better job playing Dumbledore than Michael Gambon did, but I feel like Richard Harris might have struggled a little bit with the later films, having more of an active role, especially the duel between him and Voldemort in Order of the Phoenix. Whereas in that scene, Michael Gambon did a perfect job. Obviously, a lot of us have an issue with Michael Gambon with how he asked Harry if he put his name in the Goblet of Fire. Harry, did you put your name in the Goblet of Fire? But yeah, Richard Harris just looked better than Michael Gambon, and it's so sad that he died. Rest in peace, Richard Harris. Number 19 is your top thing, person or event that wasn't in the movie that you wanted there the most. The first thing I thought of when reading this question was the two-way mirror being missed out in Order of the Phoenix. The fact that they had the two-way mirror as a thing in Deathly Hallows, the film. For those who never read the books, it's just all one big confusion about what that mirror is, where it came from, whereas all they needed was like a 30-second scene between Sirius and Harry where he gives him the mirror. I suppose we can't really blame the filmmakers because the last book came out the same month as the 5th film, so I guess I'm gonna have to let that slide. But one of the biggest issues, I think, is missing out Dobby in all of the other films. Dobby only appears in Chamber of Secrets and Deathly Hallows, the films, but in the books he's also in Goblet of Fire, Order of the Phoenix and Half-Blood Prince. And because we saw a lot more of Dobby in the books, we got so attached to him and fell in love with him, and it was so much more sadder when he died in the last book. But in the films he just reappears after 5 years, then he dies, and then it's just like, oh, that's a house elf we only ever knew from Chamber of Secrets. 20. If you could remake any of the Harry Potter films, which one would it be? Easy answer, Half-Blood Prince. I would completely skip that scene where Harry's talking to that girl in that Muggle cafe. I will also completely skip the burrow being burnt down, because both of those things weren't in the book, should never have happened, just defy all logic and just make me angry every time I think about them. But also, I would keep the battle on the astronomy tower, which they missed out. I would make Ron and Hermione's relationship better. I would make Harry and Ginny's first kiss better, and to just make everything a bit more like the book. 21. Which house was your first gut feeling that you'd be a part of? Hufflepuff. 22. Which house were you actually sorted in on Pottermore? Can you venture a guess? Hufflepuff. 23. Which class would be your favourite? I have always thought that Care of Magical Creatures would be my favourite. I feel like I would just love learning about all of these different magical creatures, which is one of the biggest reasons I freaking loved the Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them movie so much. And also I was extra happy that there was a Bowtruckle and a Niffler in it, because Harry actually learns about them in the books but they're nowhere to be seen in the films, and so it was just so awesome to actually see them in a film. 24. Which spell do you think would be most useful to learn? I have chosen Accio. Not only would it make you the laziest person in the world, not having to get up and get anything, but you can also get things that are a mile away, and I just think that'd be so convenient, and you can use it for almost anything. 25. Which character do you think you'd instantly become friends with? Neville or Luna or both? 26. If you could own one of the 3 Hallows, which one would it be? Again, easy answer. I'm going to go for the invisibility cloak. Not only would it be very useful, but it's also a very good defense mechanism. If I had the Elder Wand, I'd just be afraid for my life the entire time because so many people will be after it, and I haven't really lost any loved ones to desire the Resurrection Stone. Not that I would choose that anyway, because that is actually kind of a dark thing to possess. But there's nothing wrong with having an invisibility cloak, so that is the one I'm going for. 27. Is there any aspect of the books you'd like to change? 2 things. I would have Harry spend much more time with Sirius, and I would have him not name his middle child Albus Severus Potter. I would just not have Severus there, because the amount of crap Harry had to go through because of Severus. Like, yeah, okay, he ended up as a good guy in the end, but he was still a bully, no matter what. That's just one thing I can't accept, him naming his kid after him, when there are much more important people in his life, like Remus or Rubeus Hagrid. 28. Favourite Marauder. I had a little difficulty choosing between Sirius and Remus, but I chose Remus in the end because, like Sirius, he had a very crappy life, but he had to transform into a werewolf every month for most of his life. Like, can you imagine not only how physically, horrifically painful that must be, but also mentally, psychologically? I don't think he had many friends. I think he spent most of his time alone after James's death. He's one of the characters I feel the most sorry for, and I love him. He's such a lovely character. 29. If you could bring one character back to life, who would it be? I think I kind of gave this answer away earlier on in the video. I would definitely choose Fred Weasley because, like I said, there was absolutely no reason for him to die, and it just left George without his twin. And finally, question 30. Hallows or Horcruxes? The clue to this is right here. I would choose Hallows. You don't have to murder people in order to get them. Like, Horcruxes are just evil, horrible things, and you can have the Hallows and not be an evil person for it. And that is finally it for the ultimate Harry Potter tag. I am so sorry this video went on so long. If you got to the end of the video, comment down below, I blame the Nargles. Then I would know that you actually watched the entire thing. Also, while you're down there, why don't you give me some of your answers to these questions? You know, if you're also a Harry Potter fan. Sorry if you're not. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. That would be awesome. Subscribe to my channel if you are new here. I don't just do Harry Potter videos. I do videos about all different kinds of things. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.